Welcome to this great interview with Kenneth Price. We're going to be talking about psychedelics and antidepressants. But I need you to stay to the end of the episode. I am going to give you links to free resources. You won't even need to leave YouTube, but those will be at the end of the episode. So enjoy the interview with Kenneth, and I'll see you afterwards. So how do you see the psychiatric medicines and then psychedelics? How are they different? How are they the same? Totally different ballpark. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts just on that?
This is going to be my favorite question to answer. And I get to become a windbag because I was on, because I know both. I have what my teacher would call the contrast experience. That's why I don't regret being on all those psych meds. Because I have a contrast experience. Psych meds, short and sweet. They can torque with the brain chemistry. Something with serotonin uptake, and they did in my parable. But that's not where we need to be operating at. We have no business, trying to tinker with brain chemistry. The psych meds were. I really, actually, James, I have a hard time answering that question because no, I know how I'm going to answer that question because I know what the psych meds did. They covered up my soul. Maybe they made it function so I could get through graduate school. They made it function so I could get those and, make investments and take vacations. They covered up my actual soul. I can stamp what they did. Now, the entheogens, ayahuasca, and I hope you ask me about other ones because I did shamanic ceremonies which were included more than ayahuasca. The entheogens, plant medicines, psychedelics, completely opposite approach. And I actually talked to ayahuasca. I call her Mother Ayahuasca. I think I did 8 ceremonies, but the first 4 were the most powerful. She had a lot of communication. She said, "Kiddo, maybe," she said, "I'm going to take you in the opposite direction. We're not covering anything up here. We're going to go straight into it instead. We're going into what you fear the most. We're going towards the pain. I'm going to teach you how to go towards pain." And the medications that the psychiatrist, and I don't want to fault or judge the psychiatrist, but those did just the opposite. We're talking yin and yang. We're talking 2 completely opposite approaches.
Okay. And have you been completely off any psychiatric medications when you did the plant medicine work?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, James, because I do outreach with people who are coming off of their medications, and I can't discuss, and it's best. I'm under the galactic, do no harm, and for most of them, I won't discuss psychedelics. I'll share with them that now psychedelics or entheogens. Now I'm not a shaman, so if you're listening to this, please consult someone who's credentialed. But I've talked with my shaman and his assistants, and they say, you only have to be off the psych meds for a short period of time before you're a candidate for plant medicine. But you have to jump through. They will do an intake. I was off plant. I was off the pharmaceuticals for 3 years before I went in the direction of plant medicines. But in addition, I spent those 3 years and years prior doing some very heavy duty spiritual work, preparing for my first ceremony.
Okay. Do you want to go into what sort of, was that also Course in Miracles oriented or something a little different?
It was. Well, I've been a spiritual seeker, trying to find some answers. There's got to be more than this. I've done the spiritual smorgasbord, and then for the first 20 years it was the 12 steps. But it was in May of 2017, James, that I found my teacher. I was guided to answer. Now this is all guided, by the way, and I want to include this in your interview. how the synchronicities, when a person has set their intention toward healing, how the synchronicities begin to arrive. Now, because I was sitting here in Portland, Oregon, it was a winter of 2017, and I was just flipping through Facebook, and I found this ad for something called a mystery school with this organization in Utah. And I thought, well, what the hell? It's cheap. And I went through a couple hoops. You know, it was like a couple $1,000 for 30 days. And because I was in a very depressed place. I'd been off the psych meds for a year. And I said, I got to pull myself out of this hole somehow. And I drove all the way to Duchesne, Utah. And I met my teacher, David Hoffmeister, Course in Miracles teacher. Maybe a plug for David if he ever watches this. That's generally where my emphasis has been since for the last 5 years. It's almost been 5. It'll be 5 years May.
Okay. And just as a real quick background, then so you mentioned ayahuasca, but what other plant medicines have you found kind of pivotal in your in the work that you've done?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Through the channels of now David doesn't do plant medicine. He's not, but through synchronistic channels, he connected me with my shaman, and I don't know a whole lot about his lineage. That's what they call it, a lineage. But I will tell you, to answer your question, his ceremonies are about 3 days, 4 nights, and he great shaman, by the way. If anybody wants his link, I'll send you it. He does kambo, ayahuasca, mushrooms, sananga, tobacco snuff, arapa hay or something. And then now all of this is done, in a professional ceremony with ofrendas and debriefings, and he's got assistants at all times. And then he tops off every ceremony with Father Sapito, Bufo Alvedius, 5-MeO DMT.
Thank you for watching this amazing video with Kenneth Price. Down below in the description, you're going to find links to his YouTube channel where you can find out more information about him. And also, if you're interested in joining his weekly Zoom calls, you can find that information on his YouTube channel. I'd like to thank you for making it this far. And somewhere on this page, you're going to find a link to a playlist. That's going to be the best playlist for the topics that we covered. And we've assembled these, and they're just great. It's going to be some of my content. It's going to be some external content, but really just trying to make the best content available. So just to help you on your journey, please drill into that playlist, and I'll see you guys again soon. Also, please like, subscribe, but comment below. I want to hear what questions you have, because those will be questions that I'll cover in future videos, or I'll just answer right now if I can. And if I can't answer it, we'll get an expert on to answer your guys' questions as it relates to meditation, spirituality, psychedelics, any of those issues. Comment below, let us hear your thoughts, and I'll get those covered for you. Talk to you guys soon.